This is me a year ago, confused and alone in the harsh world of dating after divorce. I didn't know what I was looking for yet, but then I saw her, and my journey led me across land and sea, over 7,000 miles just to go on a date. Was it worth it? Now, I never thought I would want to date someone online all the way around the world and have a long-distance relationship, but in this case, it seemed like she was really worth it. This relationship was really worth the effort of just trying to go and meet her. We were really curious if it would be the same in person as it was over the internet. So we talked about this a bunch of times. We were hoping to capture it all on film. I'd have my GoPro, she'd be filming on our camera, and when we met at the airport for the first time, we would capture this amazing moment when we first embraced, and well, that's basically all I got on film. So let me rewind it, because I was filming on a GoPro, and I actually did capture a lot more than I thought I did. Waiting for somebody. And then Joy started filming, and I'll splice our footage together here.
Where do you see?
Right here, I actually caught Joy getting out of her car, see?
Bye.
And then Joy is filming me right here. And then you can see Joy walking towards me. And then...
Hey!
For me, this is the coolest part. My GoPro was filming at 60 frames per second. And so I was able to get a really nice clean shot of how excited Joy was to meet me. And from that moment on, we put our cameras down and we just enjoyed the day together. We only took a couple pictures. I hadn't slept in 24 hours, and Joy actually had a fever for the last 3 days. From then on, we were inseparable. It was the best vacation I've ever had. And I found myself falling in love with the Philippines. So what's good? Now, coming from America, I'm usually not into pastries from a coffee shop because they're usually just full of sweets. But Joy convinced me to try something that was a Filipino favorite. They have this bread.
It's pandesal.
Pandesal bread. And these are hot dogs. This is just a normal hot dog?
This is a cheese dog.
Cheese dog, okay.
But these are cheese and zag.
But unlike America, you have to cook these, otherwise they're bad for you. They get sick. And then you put them all in the pandesal, and then you have your delicious breakfast. Now, I love eggs in the morning, but I've never tried hot dogs for breakfast, and these just looked different. Eggs, dogs.
Can bite it. Can bite it.
What's wrong with me? I loved it. The pandesal was soft, the hot dogs were soft and juicy, tasty. Everything about it was good. Especially this part. Miss Gina came over and took us on a full-day adventure. We started out by going to this place called Art and Island. Now, this museum is great for a first date because it's not your normal museum. It's full of projectors and interactive art and paintings that seem to pop out of the walls and optical illusions everywhere. It's just fun to spend an hour or two or more exploring everything that they have here. Miss Gina insisted on taking lots and lots of pictures of us, and now I'm actually happy that she did, because otherwise we just wouldn't have had that many pictures of us together. The museum ended in a giant room with sounds and projectors everywhere, and you just immersed yourself in this different world that kept changing and changing every couple minutes. We must have spent a half an hour walking around and just hanging out, sitting on the cushions there, taking pictures. It was really cool. There was parts that made me dizzy, but it was really cool. After that, we grabbed some Jollibee and then hitched a ride to Luneta Park, also known as Rizal Park. It has amazing war memorial statues and then a big, beautiful Chinese garden. Of course, we took lots of pictures again. Months of video calls were no match for her simple and loving gestures everywhere we went. Sweet and beautiful seemed to be an impossible combination where I was from, and yet, here she was, holding my hand. We're all gonna die! Now, I'm a small town kid, but I also lived in Los Angeles for half my life, so I'm not a stranger to the city. Although there were similarities, Manila was different. Even with its massive structures, the city feels very much handmade. And I accidentally left my GoPro on while we were walking around. I honestly don't even know why this is in the edit. I guess the editor likes it. For some reason.
This is the balot. You see inside? It tastes good. You wanna try it? You try the balot. Sip. What do you think?
I don't know. That was weird.
Really?
That's hair.
Yeah, it's a baby duck inside. It will taste good if you put salt and vinegar.
Can't wrap my head around wanting to eat that.
Well, he's eating balot.
Well,
Pull it out.
you want me to pull it out?
Yeah.
Are those veins? Is that the veins?
Yeah, that's the beans. Oh my god, this is big. I don't want to eat it. I don't want a baby.
What is this? Is the...
That's the yolk.
There you go, baby duck.
Yeah, that's a baby duck and have this hair in it.
Do you want me to keep peeling this so that you can eat it? People still try to squeeze through. I like how it's like a natural shade from the overpass. Here we got a Gucci shirt for 130 pesos. That is $2. I'm sure it's authentic Gucci.
No, it's not authentic.
Little pet store right here. One thing I noticed about the Filipino culture is they can make and prepare food almost anywhere. Everywhere I went, people were excited to talk to me or try to get my attention. I didn't really realize it a lot of the times. Earlier that day, we spent most of our time at the Manila airport. I was used to the city, but the province, however, it was making me a little bit nervous. I had no idea what to expect. We made it. We're in Dumaguete now. Now I'm really nervous. We're about to meet Joy's daughter that she hasn't seen in 4 years. And then her dad, too. Oh wait, what's this? Oh yeah, Joy told me about the manopo gesture. I didn't even remember doing it myself until I looked at this video again. Hello. I guess I did it right. Wow, fancy truck. Nice. I wasn't expecting her family to pick me up in a big monster truck Toyota that's just sweet, but that's where Chief comes in. So the intersections just feel like a pushing contest in the really busy streets. It seems like there's no wrecks because no one's moving fast. Everyone's being careful. Everyone's always kind of going under the speed limit because you're just moving around all kinds of obstacles all the time as you're driving. Joy's daughter was really excited about going and seeing them all because she just doesn't normally get to experience it at all in the province. Also, she wanted some fast food. Now, let me tell you something about fast food in the Philippines. It's actually good. I got obsessed with eating fast food there because I wanted to see how much better it was than American fast food. I was surprised McDonald's was delicious and way healthier than it is in America. We went to Chowking as well. Sorry, Joy, I took a picture of you with your eyes closed. Here, let me just open them in Photoshop. That looks kind of weird. How about I'll give you a smile too? Nah, okay. Point of the story is Filipino fast food is way better than American fast food. This is Chief. He was the bodyguard for the previous mayor. I saw him assemble a handgun in just a matter of seconds. He's the one who came and picked us up from the airport. They say if it takes 5 hours to get someplace, Chief can get you there in 2, maybe 2.5 hours. They weren't kidding either.
So he's like the wolf on Pulp Fiction.
It's 30 minutes away. I'll be there in 10.
Filipino style. My sense of smell was overpowered as we drove for hours through town after town. It was the smell of smoke, much like a campfire, but each with its own unique aroma. It's the next morning. Joy's parents put me up in a beautiful resort called Jane Pool Resort and Lodging. I guess they're friends with the family. The first thing we did that morning was walk down the street to her aunt's house to go have breakfast. And of course, Joy bought me some Pandasol.
This is your aunt's house, huh?
Why are you filming me?
Joy's family didn't really speak any English, so I was just heavily relying on expressions and body language, and hopefully Joy would translate something for me every now and then.
Hi, you have visitors, Kai.
Hey, buddy.
Sir, do you want some?
Some what?
Some pandesal?
I just ate a whole plate of it.
So are you okay now?
I'm great. Gotta get the driver.
Joy's brother gave us a ride around the small town. At this point, the thought of driving a motorcycle made me nervous, mostly because I didn't understand the etiquette and traffic craziness. And the thought of killing Joy made me nervous, too.
Wow. It's a cool.
Obviously, everyone stared at me. I stood out like a sore thumb. This town didn't see very many foreigners.
Almost every house has a little shop.
Joy grew up very poor. The closest thing I could compare it to is camping or even being homeless. But they weren't homeless, they owned the land and they had houses built on it. They were just very simple houses made out of bamboo and whatever they could find.
It's pretty relaxing here.
We will do some interview.
Say hi, Mom.
Say hi. And how about you? And how about you? How about you? And how about you? This is where we cook food.
Where's the fire coming?
You do like this, you just like this.
Oh, and then these are, you set the pots on top of the rocks. Yeah. You can tell when they're cooking in the kitchen because the smoke just comes through the walls. You have a refrigerator, but they don't really put meat in there. I just saw ice.
Yeah, my mom is not putting frozen food.
And they have a washer and dryer that you got for them too, but they still wash their clothes by hand.
Yeah, because my mom is like, oh, our electricity is gonna get higher.
Whoa, the floor is, it's like flexing.
Yeah.
Everyone just kind of sleeps on the floor together. It's no real beds, it's just you put a mat down and then everyone just sleeps on the floor together. Doesn't that wake everybody up if someone's tossing and turning, doesn't it? And then you're in the bamboo house, so it's like all shaky when you're turning around. It's like you're in a big bunk bed together.
We have a good sleep because we grow up in that situation, so
Yeah.
we grow up in that life. This is my mom when she got married. It's very simple. Yeah, they had simple marriage.
It really felt like a kid's fort.
You don't know if I can do it?
I had to duck under and squeeze through doorways.
Oh, I feel like this floor's gonna break. Maybe I'm too heavy for it. I'm probably heavier than everybody else here, right?
I felt like a giant moving around through a miniature house.
Cats just hanging out. Your brother's house.
This is my brother's house.
Hose. And this is going to be another brother's house. And this is storage. And then the pig house.
And that's a bathroom.
Hello.
That's coconut wine.
From the tree right there.
Yeah.
I saw him climb it.
How to taste? You have to explain it to me. How to taste?
I don't know. I really like it though.
What the?
What kind of alcohol is in it? What makes it?
It's a coconut,
But it's
my
coconut,
love.
but
It's pure coconut wine.
because I've had coconut water before. Is that just what this is? Like coconut
No,
water?
it's not coconut water.
It's not coconut. How is this different? I don't understand. It doesn't taste like coconut.
You wanna climb the coconut so you know how to?
Okay, what do I do?
Since I couldn't figure out where coconut wine came from, Joy had to climb up the coconut tree and give me a demonstration of actually where they got it. And she made the climbing process look really easy, so, you know, I climbed trees as a kid, so I figured this would be easy.
Uh-huh.
This is the coconut wine.
Oh, so you just cut the thing and then it seeps out slowly. So it's not out of the coconuts itself, it's just out of the branches.
Don't film me because my underwear. Okay, yeah. You don't like this.
Oh, there's grooves cut here.
Okay.
I couldn't quite figure out where to step next, and so I just started grabbing at things. You can hear some cracking. And then I felt stuck. I worried that everything I touched would break. And so I kind of was just trying to get down at that point, and Joy's dad came and actually helped me get my feet in the grooves and helped me down. And then when I thought I was safe, I love Joy's mom's reaction here.
So these are all jugs of coconut wine
Yeah,
that has sat for a day and it's turned into
vinegar.
And then you use this to make dried fish
Yes, and everything.
and everything.
This
It's,
is our
it's like a
organic
preservative.
vinegar. Yeah.
That's a lot. And then do you sell this?
Yes. You can see this in province, but not in the city.
Not in the city.
Next up on my list of things to try, leche.
This is lechon, right? So it's the pig skin on the head, and it's just fat. The kids were eating it, and they just had a big old slab of fat, and they were like, fingers were dripping with grease, and they're like, you know.
Try.
Okay, leche.
It's crunchy and soft.
I love watching Joy's mom and her aunt silently waiting for my reaction as I ate lechon. Yep, he liked it.
I mean, a lot of people, they like fat here.
Well, that's so different than America.
it's
You
so
just can't
soft.
find chunks of fat for
When you eat it,
sale.
it's so soft.
It is. Wow, so that's all fat.
Everyone kept encouraging me to ride a motorcycle, and so her aunt actually let me borrow her easy-to-drive Honda.
What
And
do you think, sir? I can ride with you.
I'm sure you can. It'll be very safe.
Are you serious?
I guess I passed the test, because we all took off and headed towards the beach for a sunset adventure. Joy's encouragement gave me confidence as I navigated the crazy traffic. It actually wasn't as bad as I thought. And she was a good instructor too. Other than the trash everywhere, it was a beautiful and perfect beach and a beautiful time of day to go. All right, let's jump in.
Look at that view.
The water was perfect. The company was perfect. Kids had fun. And it's a day I'm never going to forget. But it didn't end there. Food and music was brought, and we all hung out on the beach and ate like kings for the next 2 hours. Well, I'd say it was a successful first day in the province.
Stopping to get snacks for the kids and drinks. This is my sweet ride.
Courtesy of Joy's aunt. This is me trying to look cool with a pink towel. This is Joy, my girlfriend.
Trying to get on a boat, I guess. I guess everyone's trying to get on a boat at the same time. Somehow we're crowding in front of everyone.
So all this time, I just thought we were going to go on a boat so we could watch a boat parade. Even though yesterday she did explain to me what we were doing.
Tomorrow we're gonna be parade, so we're going tomorrow.
So we'll get in one of these boats.
Yeah, my brother, we go with him tomorrow.
Wow. Okay, well, I'll film that.
You wanna film that?
It was pretty clear, right? Around this time, I started realizing that everyone in the Philippines seems to have a just amazing balance. Like the kids are just dancing around on top of like little tiny posts, and no one seems to be losing their flip-flops or anything. No one has life preservers, nothing.
I wouldn't have been able to do this by myself.
It seemed like the boat was full, but more and more people just kept piling on until there was just barely enough room to stand. This is Joy's brother pushing us out. He works as a local fisherman here, so he's the reason why we got into this parade, which I thought we were just watching. Eventually we pulled up next to a bigger boat, and one by one everybody started piling off onto that one. Old ladies and young children piled onto the boat with ease. Obviously, this is where we're going to watch the parade from, right? I still couldn't believe that nobody was losing their sandals or accidentally falling overboard. I'm starting to see why everyone says it's more fun in the Philippines. Maybe a little more dangerous too. But hey, it's more fun. And Joy's family brought a chair specifically for me to sit on. Then after about 30 minutes, my brilliant powers of deduction and sound reasoning finally kicked in.
It's like we're in the parade. Are we in the parade instead of just watching the parade?
We're in the parade.
We're in it. I thought we were just watching a parade. Okay, I finally figured it out.
We ended up getting onto an even bigger boat. The fishermen came prepared. They had lots of food, lots of rice, and they were cutting up a whole pig that they were just passing around on the deck, and everyone was just chewing away at it. I tried the meat. It was delicious. Eventually we stopped and the kids all started jumping off the boat into the water. Again, nobody had life jackets. Everyone could just swim, I guess. Joy's brother locked in a smaller boat for us and got us back home to shore. The parade was a success. Internet in the Philippines is really different from America. You have to buy a load for your phone or iPad if you don't have Wi-Fi. Joy's dad had one of these machines at his house so the neighbors could come and purchase internet.
Did it work?
Joy paid for some load on her phone and then made a hotspot for me to use on my iPad. While plugged into a tree, of course. Hi, Mom and Dad. It's been a few days out in the province with Joy's family, and so my cell phone has not had Wi-Fi very easily. I've been filming mostly on my GoPro and have lots of crazy footage of normal life out here.
You can tell when they're cooking in the kitchen because the smoke just comes through the walls. They must be cooking something in there. What is this?
This is menudo.
Menudo,
Yeah,
which is pork and some vegetables.
pork and carrots and potato.
Oh, and that's the intestines?
Yeah, that's called dinuguan.
Dinuguan?
And this one nilaga.
Nilaga. I see bones.
And later when we come back, you eat your crab.
I couldn't believe it. 3 different delicious dishes for breakfast along with my coffee, and right after I turned off my camera, they brought plates of rice, eggs, and fish. It's super busy around here. Everyone is doing something.
What are you doing?
I felt lazy. Even the kids were working.
Washing dishes?
I could just hear the thoughts of all my friends in LA.
The kids are washing dishes and they're right next to a pig pen? Think of how unclean that is.
Okay, maybe I'm projecting because that's what I was thinking. I even asked Joy about it later.
Your daughter was washing dishes right by the pig pen?
because the water was there. It's easy for her to wash there because there is a lot of water then.
Yeah.
On our regular kitchen. You saw my kitchen, right?
I saw the
You have
kitchen.
a video.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, usually we wash dishes in that place.
Kids are washing dishes from yesterday. Her dad is climbing all the coconut trees to collect all the coconut wine from the branches. The brothers and relatives are watering and feeding and cleaning the pigs. And Joy is hand washing all of her clothes from yesterday.
I'm filming all the busyness. It's very busy here everywhere. Good morning, my buntag.
It was at this point that I did something that I was really embarrassed about until Joy told me later that it didn't matter at all.
This is how you wash clothes?
Yeah.
I was filming and then I was like, I realized your sister-in-law was giving herself a shower. And I was like, oops, sorry, but it didn't matter.
Yeah. Yes, I remember.
Her mom does a video call with us and she's like, hi, and then she pours water on herself. And I'm like, what? So weird. There's no privacy, but you're not embarrassed about stuff is what it turns into.
Yeah, what's kind of natural in province.
You're hanging up my underwear on the line, you know, you're right in the middle of everybody, and I'm like going, woo! It's just, everyone's going through it to go to the bathroom.
I was so embarrassed about accidentally filming someone taking a bath that I put my GoPro down for a while. That is until I saw the kids playing a strange game.
Kick.
It was kind of like hacky sack.
Look at that. Look at that. It's almost like a badminton, the way they've made it. It's like a coin.
No, it's not coin. It's a washer.
It's the washer like you're saying.
It was made out of a washer and a candy wrapper.
You have to twist your slipper.
Can we all just appreciate how Joy said,
You have to twist your slipper.
Okay, I'm ready.
they used both their hands and their feet, and I couldn't really figure out the rules of the game because no one could explain it to me.
See over there, honey.
Look at that, the royal treatment.
And then Joy insisted on washing my feet. Talk about being treated like a king. And we did a lot of what the province is known for, relaxing.
I have won this before, but I don't know where is it now. Maybe it's already broken.
That is jackfruit right there. And apparently that's a small one.
As we were lounging in the hammock, Joy's mom brought over a jackfruit. She was cutting it open and showing me everything about it.
That's the one you ate last night, my love.
Yeah, but I still didn't realize they were that big.
That's the way you remove the sticky thing.
The fruit was really sticky and somehow the palm branches got it off. Somehow that sound is just satisfying.
It's amazing.
You pull out like that.
I kept eating the wrong part, so Joy made me give a demonstration of how to do it correctly.
So this time, when you
Take the
open,
seed out.
okay, and then,
And this part is delicious.
right, honey?
It looks like that.
This is marang. What is
Marang.
So he's eating different kind of fruits. How it is good?
Super soft.
And while I was gorging myself on fruit, her parents brought a bunch of crabs over that they just purchased. They're all still alive too.
Yeah, this is a big one.
That was Joy trying to attack her brother with a crab.
Oh, it's already cooked.
It smells good. That's all crab.
They turned red.
Yeah, with the coconut milk.
I like that everything's finger food. You're like, this is how we eat. And you like grab rice and squish it into a ball and put some meat onto it and eat it. And you guys are all proud of me for eating like that.
That's the way we hung out. We don't need fork and spoon.
Later that day, we all went down to Jane Pool Resort where I was staying, and everybody went swimming. One of the interesting things about public pools in the province is everybody just wears clothes. Nobody had a swimming suit, except for Joy and I, but apparently that's the way they prefer it. It was a great time. It seemed like the whole town was there. In the parking lot, there was a bunch of fish laying out in the sun.
That's a fresh fish.
Joy explained that this is fresh fish that they put out to dry for about 2 days, and then they put salt and vinegar on it. The coconut wine vinegar, actually, from what we saw a couple days ago. And then you can cook it, and then you have dried fish, which is a favorite in the Philippines for breakfast. I couldn't wrap my head around leaving fish out for days in the sun. It just seemed like a really bad idea, but Joy explained that nope, this is just what is done there, and it's delicious. Later on that day, we all hopped on the motorcycles and the whole family drove down to, I have no idea, we were just driving. I didn't know where we were going. We probably drove for about a half an hour. We ended up at this lookout to watch the sunset. Other locals were there to do the same. A motorcycle vendor was there selling balut, which I promptly turned down.
No.
But then Joy explained that on this island, balat is just hard-boiled chicken egg, not a baby duck like I saw in Manila. So I actually had balat this time.
What are you drinking, my love?
We drove back to town and went to her aunt's house. There was tons of people hanging out in front of the house, and her brothers just fed me one beer after another.
How it tastes?
Lamigayo.
Lami kayo?
Either I was saying the wrong thing or my accent was just funny sounding. Later that night, we went downtown to the festival. There was a pageant, speeches, and then they turned the basketball courts into a dance floor. The whole town was there. Now, I know what you're thinking. I suck at dancing. Why in the world am I dancing? Well, Joy's mom wanted me to dance, and all her family wanted me to dance, so I stumbled out on the dance floor to try to learn some moves from her mom, while everyone watched and laughed. The next day, we pretty much just hung out all morning. Everyone always seemed to be together. This whole experience really helped me to understand why Joy seems so content in any situation. Life here is very much about going with the flow, using what you have, sharing everything, and lots of relaxing when possible.
Is that your chicken?
Yeah, this is my chicken.
I'm still recording.
We had to catch a flight, so we jumped on a trike and headed down to the bus stop, only to find out that the bus schedule was completely wrong. Luckily, we had our friend Chief.
Okay. Yeah? You wanna fly?
We made it back to the Dumaguete airport and sat there for about 4 hours while we waited for our plane. Next stop, Cebu. Our plane landed at the airport, and Joy usually uses a service called Grab to get around the city, and it's kind of like Uber or Lyft.
I think for me it's cheaper and safe because when you book a Grab, you know who is your driver, what's the phone name.
With Grab, you can lock in a price up front to avoid getting ripped off by anyone, but we couldn't find the address to the hotel in the Grab app, and so we were kind of stuck with using a taxi. And it wasn't very far from the airport either, it was like 10 minutes away. But the taxi cab driver kept driving around in circles like he was completely lost. But I didn't know what was going on because they were speaking in Bisaya. And afterwards I found out Joy said, "Hey Kuya, I'm not going to pay you if you just drive around and around in circles."
He's just trying to trick us.
But he was acting like he was confused, you know? He was acting like he didn't know where to go.
Yeah, he's acting like confused, like he don't know the place. I am with a foreigner. He thinks that he has a lot of money, that's why.
Apparently it's called taking the long way when taxi drivers do that. And it was my first impression of Cebu, and so it kind of made me a little bit nervous about Cebu that first night. But that changed the next day.
This is where we're staying.
This place was really nice and clean. I found it on booking.com. Cebu, or Lapu-Lapu City, was really busy. It was constant activity. It kind of felt like a city version of the province. And Joy was really nervous about me crossing the street on my own, so she insisted on coming with me everywhere I went. And I almost got hit here, so I guess it makes sense that she would help me. Every square inch of this apartment was beautifully designed, and surprisingly, it only came out to about $16. We found a cool balcony up on top, and so we ended up recording about an hour-long interview about the differences in our cultures, but there's so much background noise that you can hardly hear anything we're saying. Joy made sure her man was looking guapo, and then we headed out to explore the city. Now in the Philippines, everybody seems to do their laundry every day instead of leaving it pile up for a week like they do in America.
Here's a little laundry shop. We brought our bag of laundry to.
And laundry shops are different than in America as well. These are like full-service little laundry shops where they wash and fold your clothes for you, and then you pick it up the next day. It literally took us 2 seconds to catch a ride on a trike. And this driver ended up transforming my perspective on Cebu. We'll talk about him a little later. But for now, we're focused on finding food at a local market. In addition to experiencing the culture, I was looking for some coffee and some eggs, things that my stomach were a little bit more familiar with, just because I felt a little bloated from some of the local foods. It's funny because I wanted to just explore, but Joy was laser focused on finding exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I'm talking about.
And coffee was the thing I wanted right now, so here we go.
So we got coffee, and it's 25 cents?
We both forgot the price, but let's just say it was really cheap, something like under 50 cents.
And what market is this?
Lapu-Lapu Public Market.
The what?
Lapu-Lapu Public Market.
Okay, whatever, what she said.
Joy's voice is incredibly soft, especially when we're out in public. I can barely hear anything she says. She actually lost her voice for about 1.5 years and couldn't speak at all until she had surgery on her voice box. And now she has a voice, but it's only about 50% of the volume. Her raspy, soft voice is kind of endearing to me, actually, but I can hardly even imagine what it would be like to not be able to speak at all, especially in a place as loud as the Philippines.
Hello.
She was excited about me vlogging about her restaurant, so I just kept filming. Joy was really excited about getting barbecued Filipino food because she'd been working with the Chinese for about 3 years, and so she ate mostly Chinese food.
I bring Jason to the market that he has no idea on eating all those kind of food. Well, I just want him to try.
That's rice. Oh, you just would grab it then?
Yes,
And eat it.
how many do you want?
It seems like you really do need a guide to go to a place like the Philippines for the very first time. There's just so many things that I just had no idea what to do.
Oh, is that good with the dark spot?
It's not a dark spot, it's a violet color.
It's a violet color, okay.
It's a design.
Okay. Glad you know what you're doing. 'Cause I don't.
My love, I am a provincial girl.
Oh, eggs. Thank you.
Honey?
Okay, so I can tell. Explain these again. These are intestines, but little balls.
This is chorizo.
What?
Chorizo.
Chorizo. And this is a hot dog.
And this is an intestine.
That's intestines
And a chicken.
of a chicken.
This is liver.
Liver. Wow.
I wasn't expecting her to get all the barbecue food, but now that she got it, I couldn't help but try one. When we were in the province, I tried pig intestines, so I figured it wouldn't be much different from chicken intestines, and yeah, these were delicious actually, kind of rubbery like noodles.
Very good.
But I filled up on eggs just to make sure my stomach can handle it. Remember Kuya from earlier?
I'll give Kuya food also. Because he's so nice. I mean, he's so nice. Because I was asking him how much should I pay him if he gonna drive us to go around.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that they struck up a deal and that Kuya was waiting for us while we were eating. Apparently they recognized each other's Bisaya accents and knew that they grew up around the same place.
Well, we become friends because he's a nice person. And he not really took advantage of us.
He basically became our personal chauffeur and took us everywhere we needed to go and really took care of us. He drove us around for a couple hours that day to a couple different places before he dropped us off back at the house to relax for a little bit. But he gave us his cell phone number and said, hey, when you're ready to go back out tonight, give me a call. So that's what we did. I really wanted to go to a night market somewhere in Cebu that I heard about in a YouTube video, but apparently they were all closed at this time on this day. So we didn't really know where to go, and so we just asked Kuya, like, hey, is there a good place that you would recommend that we can go to get some really good authentic food that's not too pricey? And he ended up taking us to a really good spot.
We surprised because I thought the food was good for one. But it's good for 4 people.
And it was about $8 for the whole meal with drinks and everything. And so we brought in Kuya.
She's our driver.
And it's gonna like shy.
So much meat in here.
It was a ridiculously good meal, and we wouldn't have found it without Kuya either.
Just the one thing about Filipino food is lots of meat and fat. It's so good.
And now for my favorite memory of Cebu. And it's all because of our new friend, Kuya. You see, we had to go to the airport at 4 a.m., and so we needed a taxi at 2 a.m. But after being scammed by our first airport taxi, we decided to ask Kuya. He said he could help, but the airport didn't allow trikes or pedicabs, so we'd have to take motorcycles. Would we mind that, he asked. Sure, why not, I said. Now, I don't have any footage of this, but I wish I did. but if you close your eyes with me, I think I can help you experience how it felt. Our alarm clock went off at 2 a.m., and sure enough, Kuya and his friend were waiting for us with sweet motorcycles and extra helmets. We jumped on the back of the motorcycles and squeezed our luggage between us and the driver and took off. The streets were completely empty. It felt like a cross between the opening of Akira and maybe a Tron movie. I don't know, that's why I'm playing this music. The city was empty, but still glowing with energy. Little blue lights dotted the streets like an 80s video game as they streaked past us. We pulled up to the colorful airport entrance after about 10 minutes. We thanked Kuya and his friend, and he said, if we're ever back in Cebu, give him a call. He'll take care of us. We had to wake up around 2 in the morning in Cebu to get to the airport, started boarding around 4, then we took off around 5, landed about 6 in Siargao. Needless to say, we were really short on sleep. For some reason, I could never remember how to pronounce Siargao. We just arrived on the island of Siargao early this morning. It took us about an hour to get to the resort, and I was shocked at just how untouched most of the land was in this place.
First day in Siargao.
First thing we did after checking in was order some coffee and some breakfast. I think I ordered 2 meals for just myself here. The second thing we did was rent a motorcycle for the week. Eddie hooked us up. He made it super easy.
I was like, I need a motorcycle. And he's like, I'll get you one. So he brought a motorcycle.
Let me just explain how honking works here in the Philippines. I'm just trying to scare the stray dog off the road so I don't hit him. Other times you honk when you're passing someone like this. It's not rude here. In fact, it's considered polite. It's just etiquette. If you honk before you pass someone, they'll know that you're passing them. It's also polite to honk before you go through an intersection. That way people know you're coming. And then the other times are when there's crowds of people walking down the road or kids playing next to the road, just to let them know that you're coming by. What do you think?
It's beautiful.
My goal that day was just to go and explore the island and drive around. Neither one of us had ever been here before.
Random drive, random stop. This whole island is amazing.
I love seeing how much stuff people can carry on a motorcycle in the Philippines too. See? And up here you can see where someone has laid out a bunch of rice on the roads to let it dry. And of course you saw surfboards everywhere on bikes. All this rice is making me hungry. So Joy and I stopped at a little cantina on the way home to pick up some fresh local food. Joy was getting some more chicken intestines.
I haven't seen like this in Manila.
I couldn't figure out what the fans were for over the food, but apparently it's to keep the flies away. Cigarette packaging in the Philippines is designed to be disgusting and shocking, to show you just how bad it could be if you smoked.
Nasty.
I don't know what YouTube will allow, so I'll just let you look it up for yourself. The next day, Joy wanted to learn how to drive the motorcycle. She did a great job. It was like a roller coaster on some of these hills.
All right, so we found, what is it, Cold Springs?
Yes. Oh.
Which is very hard on your feet.
Even on the path, the lava rocks were so sharp they almost cut through your sandals.
That's why it's so rocky. It's lava.
And then
it's been 5 hours since we've been out in the ocean. We're lost, trying to figure out how to get home.
I'll do like this.
Whoa, that's deep. Good thing I got a good tour guide. Except we're going into the trees.
we made it back to the bike. We wanted to see where this road ended. It went to this little town right on the edge of the water, with all these houses just built on sticks.
What do you think of this town?
Their house on the
House is right there on the water.
Okay, they had a bathroom right there?
Here's the bathroom.
Yeah.
I just couldn't imagine living here during a storm or typhoon. It just seemed like it was a very vulnerable place to live. But nonetheless, it was very beautiful. Siargao had distinct contrasts between the touristy towns and the local towns. This was definitely a local town.
What are you doing?
At first I thought this kid wanted me to stop and buy something at his store.
Oh, you want
high five. How are you?
You just hided a baby.
Well, that was salvation.
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 It's very comfortable because you can drive anywhere without helmet, without license. Enjoy the road with a beautiful views.
I guess everyone just hangs out on this bridge.
When we were driving home, there was a giant crowd and vendors on this bridge, so we decided to stop.
And look, I got a giant bite on my forehead.
We spent about a half an hour on this bridge walking around and trying different vendor foods and drinks and watching the sunset.
Lots of action.
Apparently, a bunch of different places would bring shuttles in and just drop everybody off here for the Sunset Bridge experience. We just happened to be in the right place at the exact right time. To our surprise, the sleepy town transformed at night. Foreigners crowded the streets and clubs with hungry eyes.
Oh no, it's open. Everything is like almost open.
Yeah. Every restaurant on the strip they serve breakfast all day long.
Yeah, it's all breakfast.
And then they go straight to liquor after that, and they don't serve any food.
Yes.
We stopped at a place playing live music that wasn't too crowded. But Joy and I don't really like parties or clubs very much, so we headed back home to relax.
Okay. It started raining while we went to get our clothes, but we gotta drive back home in the rain.
This is fun.
Something infinitely interesting.
The next day we decided to take a giant road trip, and we had a couple destinations in mind that were about an hour away.
This is how the professionals do it.
And Joy wanted to practice her driving skills a little bit more.
Can I get a ride? Can I get a ride?
Yes, sir.
It didn't help that I was practically twice her weight.
There you go.
Driving around on a motorcycle in the Philippines is like an amusement park for adults. I've never experienced the joy of driving so much. It's like I was a kid all over again. Everything about it was fun. The winding roads, no one's getting angry at each other. I didn't think it'd be possible, but I felt like a teenager all over again. It felt good.
Water is like the same temperature as the air. Almost doesn't feel like you're in water.
I couldn't help but take a dip. The weather was hot, and the water was perfect.
Oh, is that a little rock wall?
Somehow Joy can balance on her tiny little feet like a mountain goat. And finally, I ordered a cheeseburger just to see how different it was.
What is in there?
An egg.
Egg?
Is this supposed to be green tomatoes, or is that what
Yeah.
they do on? And then some kind of cheese. It's upside down.
Think about it.
And of course, it was delicious, but quite a bit different from an American cheeseburger.
And that was fun. Except for when we were coming back, it was dark and like this crickets and bugs were like hitting us like pew, 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 pew.
We went to the island of Siargao, which is known to be one of the best surfing locations in the world. But I also had another plan up my sleeve. General Luna is super cute and very clean and trendy. The whole island is clean though, but it still feels very much like the Philippines. I seem to hurt Joy with everything I do, but she still loves me.
We're in the easy peasy. And right outside is beachfront property over there. The interesting owners
Very disgusting business.
discussing business and how everyone was doing things wrong.
Today was the day that we'd finally go surfing.
That right there is a lobster? Yeah. What? It's a little tiny baby lobster.
So we wanted to go and check out the spot where everyone was talking about.
This is low tide of Cloud 9. What a little tiny crab. You look like you're delicious. I need to eat you.
We still had about 2 hours before our surfing lessons began, so we just killed some time. The whole time Joy and I were on vacation, she was on call, because everyone always relied on her to get things done at her job.
Working? Are we working? She's been working ever since we got here.
Now, I hadn't gone surfing in over 20 years, and I was never that good anyway, and Joy has never gone surfing ever before.
Now what are you gonna do? Do a somersault off?
But she has really good balance, so I think she's gonna do okay.
I'm so scared because I don't know how to swim.
Now, since I know I wouldn't be able to help Joy learn how to surf because of my lack of surfing ability, we decided to pay 2 different instructors.
We hired an instructor to do that.
And so yeah, they went out and she had an instructor, I had an instructor. Where are they? Our surf guide keeps going. We're distracted. There they are. And they gave us boards to use.
Stand up. You're goofy, huh?
That's what
So side this.
I really didn't remember hardly anything about surfing,
Yeah. But you need to direct.
but it was super fun to see Joy's excitement with everything she was learning.
Stand up. Up, right, left. Perfect. But you need to sideways. Like that. Yung
She already looked like a surfer girl.
yes, at least like ay. Oo, parehas yung bigat, ha?
And then there was a guy who was filming the whole time, and he did the best filming ever, even though he had her phone in one hand and my GoPro in the other hand. I am so glad he was filming because he caught everything perfectly on multiple cameras. But
All those pictures are good.
we both fumbled around for the first couple waves, but it wasn't long and Joy was catching every single one. Somehow she has a really good balance. I mean, just look at this. She's never surfed before, but she can do that. It took me longer than Joy, but I finally started catching waves. There was tons and tons of people out there. Look at that smile. And watch how she pushes this guy's board away from her. Now, Joy never asks for anything, but after our lessons, after an hour of surfing, she paddled over to me and said, "Can we stay here forever?" So we continued our lessons for another hour. Towards the end, we tried to catch waves at the same time so we could get a good picture of it, but I kept running into Joy. I even smacked her in the head with my surfboard one time. And then we finally got one shot where we both stood up at the same time for just a second. And then...
Oh, bro, you just drop in and just smack the lip. Whoop-ah! Drop down, snap, ah! And then after that, you just drop in, you just ride the barrel and get pitted.
And now she's addicted. Now she sees waves and she's like, oh, look at those waves.
For the first time, I did the surfing.
We almost got killed multiple times.
Yeah, I got almost killed.
Joy almost drowned.
Yeah, you hit in my head once.
And then I ran into you.
So yeah, but it was the best experience in my life. Like, doing surfing.
You got it? You got it.
This is our last day to stay here, so we can't do surfing more.
See? I told you she's addicted now. We couldn't help but explore one last time.
See?
What?
They're shy when you touch it. And they will be open later. But nobody gonna touch them. It's called in the Philippines makahiya.
Makahiya.
And I had another plan up my sleeve too. But this whole time I was just waiting for the perfect location. And I was hoping to find it in Siargao before our time here was over. And then we stumbled upon this.
Cute little church. Right above Cloud 9. That we found. Through a little gate shaped like a cross.
It seemed perfect. Just what I was looking for.
So cute.
So I put my plan into action. I set up my camera, and then I tried to stumble over to Joy without looking too weird. And then I popped her the question.
It's you and
We packed our bags, and the next day we went to the airport bright and early. And that was the last we saw of Shark Owl.
As I said, their current cabin lights will be dim for...
Due to airplane delays, we were stuck in the Cebu airport for the entire day before we were finally able to get a flight back to Manila.
I can grab you anything in my pants,
We spent the last few days of our trip back in Manila, but we didn't film much because there was an underlying sadness that our time together would soon be over. We did hit up a few touristy spots like the canals and BGC, and went to several restaurants. The more expensive a restaurant, the more uncomfortable Joy seemed to be. Plus her soft voice made it hard to talk while we were in a loud place. She was deep in thought a lot. I knew she was worried about me going home and then changing my mind about her. Apparently this happens all the time to Filipinas and a foreign partner.
What you thinking?
You're deep in thought. Finally the day came when I had to go. There were many held back tears and long silent embraces. This isn't the end. This is only the beginning. I wondered how else I could reassure her that I wasn't going to change my mind once I got home. Back to reality.
And video call.
And video calls. In the Philippines, there's a tradition while courting a girl called harana, where you sing outside a girl's window and show her and the world that you love her. Now, I didn't sing to her yet, but maybe I can still show her and the world just how much she means to me.
now.